I was undervaluing myself, and then I was charging
It's like the
less.
skin is giving. Skin like milk.
I said don't use staples. I said don't use staples.
I was taking any client that comes into my DM. If you made it to the end of this video, there is a cherry on top for you guys. You guys, so I think it's Friday, right? It's Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, and we are all stepping out to work, right? And so today it's going to be more like a mix of vlog and education style content, right? No education, school. Don't love learning. And I'll be sharing with you 10 mistakes I made coming up as a designer, right? And yeah, hopefully
Take it inside before. This guy do pure white. If I say pure white, black no day inside.
And the idea is that by sharing those mistakes with you, you coming up as a designer, you'd also not make the same mistakes and you'd be able to learn from me as well. So let's get right into it.
So the first mistake I made was that I actually ignored the fundamentals of design. Right? I was thinking that a good design is all about effects and aesthetics. Right? So I was more focused on the design looking nice and aesthetic and attractive, rather than working with the fundamentals of design. So instead of focusing on the cool stuff and the cool effects, I think a better approach would be for you to master the basics, master the basic elements of design, then master the principles of design as well, the contrast, the alignment, white space, balance within unity, all of those things. Master them, right? And when it comes to the elements as well, try to master, how to use them to create very catchy designs and informative designs that actually communicate, not just designs that look nice and aesthetic and all of those things. Master typography, master layout, the basics, right? So the moment you're able to master the basics, it becomes easier for you. Let's move to the next mistake.
Yo, Edwin. What again? This is the guy. Today they are catch.
Follow me on
Follow you way.
YouTube, Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. My
Everywhere.
name is Manuela on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
Manu_Fafa_.
Oh.
On Instagram and TikTok, okay?
Look, I go away. Oh, indeed.
So for the second mistake I made coming up as a designer, that I was actually using too many fonts. I think this is something that most newbie designers do, right? You use too many fonts, thinking that the more the fonts, the better the design or something. And the thing is that most times we even think that the stylier or a stylish font looks best, but there is a whole course on its own font studying and typography and all of that. So, but then to make things easier for you, just stick with 2 to 3 fonts, right? Stick to 2 to 3 fonts, minimum 2 and maximum 3 fonts, and not just any 3 fonts, but just find fonts that actually relates or work harmoniously. This is where the principle of unity and harmony comes into play, right? So the moment you get the basics, that is the principles of design, the harmony, the unity, all of those things, it becomes easier for you to pair fonts, right? So I think there's a website that helps with pairing fonts. I think I'll link it in the description for you guys. But then, yeah, don't use more than 3 fonts, 2 or 3 at most.
Don't use 3 fonts. Use 2 or 3 at least.
What's the problem, nigga?
You said don't use 3 fonts. What I said you came back, I used 2 or 3 Come on. So 2, you don't come up with 3. You guys say don't
I
use
said
staples.
don't use staples.
Yeah, man.
I said don't use staples.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky.
All right, so I'm really tired. I just came back from the shoot. I nearly forgot that I was actually recording content, right? So I was on the second point, right? So the third mistake that I did coming up as a designer is that I did not exactly understand color theory and color symbolism and how to use color in design, right? And I see a lot of newbie designers doing this mistake a lot. I mean, there are times when you see a design that talks about a pool party and then the dominant color in the design will be red or orange, which isn't bad. But then what I need you to understand is that color is a language on its own, right? There is something we call color symbolism, right? If we take the color red, color symbolizes love, blood, danger, and a whole lot more, right? In a case where you are creating a brand identity for a food company, red is also a good color because red is also associated with food or diet or something like that. And blue is also associated with love, cool, breeze, calmness. Yet yellow also signifies riches, right? Jewelries, royalty is like you get that. So the moment you're able to understand the color and what they symbolize, it becomes easier for you to use color in your designs, right? I've seen people use orange a lot in their designs. I mean, orange is like the commonest color I've seen in designs in Ghana. I don't know why, but I mean, the urge to use the color biasness is there, where you are pulled towards one color is there, right? But then you need to fight it. You need to break away from it, right? And use the right color where necessary. Then the fourth point I would mention is that I was using too many effects. And one of the commonest effects that most beginner designers use is the flare, the light flare, or the lens, the light flare. I think the light flare. And honestly, I don't see the use of this light flare. I mean, it's not bad to use the light flare in your designs. It is not. It is not. But then, I mean, coming up, it was a trend. It was something that most designers were doing, and I was pulled towards it. But then, as I grew, I realized that lens flare is actually a very good thing. If it's not necessary in the design, don't put it in there. For instance, if you're working on, let's say, a club poster or a club design, and in the club poster or in the club design, there are lights in there. Definitely in real life, when there is a light, there's going to be a light flare or something, lens flare or something like that. So you can put it in there. But in a case where your design doesn't have anything, let's say it's a white background with the main character in there, and then you put a lens flare on the text. I mean, bro, like don't do that. Don't do that. Make sure that any element you put in your design is serving a purpose. If the element is not serving a purpose, take it out. That's the whole concept of minimalism, right? It's either a design is serving a purpose or it shouldn't be there at all. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be concerned about aesthetics, right? Aesthetics is very important, but don't prioritize aesthetics over effectiveness. So basically, your design should communicate what it is intended to communicate before aesthetics comes into the picture, right? So when designing, your initial motive is that this design has to communicate ABC. After you have achieved that, then you can put in your decorations and all of those things. And make sure that your decorations do not contradict or do not fight your design's voice. You get it? Or the legibility, all of those things. Right? Yeah. So I don't know. Let's move on to the fifth point, shall we? Right. And so for the last point, I know I said I was going to mention 5, but let me summarize 2 in 1 point for you. The fifth point is that I was undervaluing myself, and then I was charging less. And the sixth point is that I was taking any client that comes into my DM. And what I'm trying to say is that not every client is for you. There are some clients who just share the hell out of you and they want to pay you enough. So this guy, what I'm saying is that know your worth, charge what you are worth, and then not every client is meant for you. Some clients will just stress you out. Bye bye. All right, so one more thing. If you made it to the end of this video, there is a cherry on top for you guys. I'm hosting a boot camp, and I recruited 2 high-class photographers and designers for this class, and it's going to be very interesting, informative, and very, very educative. So if you are watching this video, that means you've gotten a 20% discount on or in the class. So if you have to sign up using the link in the description, using the promo code the Atora YouTube, you get a 20% discount for the class. So sign up, and then let's get right into it. See you in the next video. Bye bye.